out the trenches, show you something new. First me have to see their body move. Bust it down and broken down the room. Doing things we don't know you can do. Messing up my vision, I'm in Cassie 2020. Spend so many bands and I'm in California money. Yeah, she always keep me coming.
Hey y'all, it's Bean Pie with Let's Keep It a Bean, and right now we are here at our house food hall on 29th Street in Baltimore. This food hall is one of my favorite places to do business meetings. It's one of my favorite places to get a poke bowl, okay? If you like them Asian cuisines, come with me. Come on y'all, let's see why. It's your girl, Bean Pie.
It's your boy, Kata Don.
Yeah, and we're here to talk to you about turning your creativity into business, right? And so Kata Don is definitely the tops of this, all right? Kata Don has been signed, has come and made his own record labels, own entertainment companies under Love First TV, Love First Entertainment, and Love First Kids. And you should definitely check it out because we out here. And there's a Love First app, and we're going to put that in the link. Click, 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 click. All right. So we're going to let Kata tell us a little bit about what Love First is, why Love First, and then tell us a little bit about where you started.
Yeah, so Love First is really about unity and building something, like I know personally nothing is possible without God, so God is love. We need to love each other. I feel like there's not enough love in the world. People are scared even to say the word love, you know what I mean? So really putting love in the atmosphere. And even from a work perspective, a lot of people, they feel like I'm forced to do this job and I got to be with people I don't like or work with. No, you can love who you work with. I love who I work with. We are spirits living a human experience. You know what I mean? So if we treat it like that, we can actually enjoy this like I'm here,
What's your definition of love?
My definition of love, I guess the simplest way would be to say God, right? So everything that encompasses that. So we're supposed to be a mirror of that. So God is a leader, a nurturer, a healer, provider, uplifter, teacher, mentor, so I feel like all of that encompasses love.
And you're saying like that's what we should aspire and inspire to do and treat one another and do with the people that we work with. We should be inspired to uplift them and want the best for them. Okay, I love that.
Exactly. I just to expand on that too, right? Because the way like networking, for example, like the way I network, I like to know what the other person's goals are. What do you want? What you need? So we can provide for that. A lot of people, they go with the networking mentality. Oh, let me see what I need. This is what I did. They keep talking about themselves, what I do. So with love and how I build, because people always look at me, oh, you're a great networker. But the biggest thing is because I actually want to know, what are you into? If we're working together, I want to know what your goals are. So we can hit that, and then we can hit, whatever my vision is, and do they align and move together,
I like that. Like putting people first, basically. Like understanding that, like, yeah, I got benefit and I can get benefit out of this, but what is my value and how can I put my value into life? And you're saying like that in itself is encompassing love.
Exactly.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Like that's a whole different definition of love. I think that we often go into definition of love that are like possessive, or go into like relationships, or like this person belongs to me type of thing, rather than like how can I add my value to the world in this person's world based on their definition of their own world. I love that. So what brought you to Love First? Because I know you are Kata Don. Like Kata Don does music. Kata Don is out here, okay? So what brought you from being this creative making his beats and writing his rhymes to this big non-profit and giving to community and helping other artists come up?
It's always been something like in my spirit. I really ran from I ran from love for a long time. I ran from even love first. Like I felt that in my spirit, and just because the world is weird about love, and then I had weird views on it. But when I finally accepted it and understood my mission, so I feel like once I stopped running from my mission, so this has always been something inside of me and a part of me, and now I'm just being more intentional. Because as you know, even in my business meetings where I talk to people about is we do great things, but I like to know the feedback from people I respect because I want to be more intentional about the great things that we're doing. So when I came to Love First, it's just what we've been doing, but just being more intentional about it. The biggest thing we want to do is support artists because artists touch a lot of people. So we want to support everybody. But instead of, hey, we want to support everybody, you have to kind of target something, prioritize something that's going to expand and hit the vision. And I think a lot of the creatives, they run the world, they influence the world. So if we can actually put them in a place of happiness and inspiration, they can inspire the world.
I always say, and I think that one of my favorite artists actually said this in a song of theirs. Sometime, like I was listening, I was like, "Oh, you on to something?" But the artists are the politicians. Like the artists are setting the trends. The kids are listening. Like I know when I was coming up, kids were listening to Lil Wayne, but they was listening to Bush. Like people, we knew, what Lil Wayne had to say about everything, but we wasn't. So I think like the artists can push politics. They can push movement, change making. So I like that. I like that. And as an artist, is there like a certain way that you think artists should push and change, or like do you think that just naturally, however they authentically express?
So I so here's what I do, right? Because like I don't even like curse in my music, right? So the people that know me, they kind of go to the writing sessions. Oh, we can't curse, we can't down, and we tell the other artists that. I never tell the artists that, right? So what I do is I let people be themselves. Now, when it comes to releasing, then I may be like a filter depending on what we're doing, and what the messaging is. But I never stop the creative process. So in that aspect, I say be organic. I let everyone be organic about what it is that you feel like you're supposed to do because everybody has their own different journey and path. But I say be intentional, right? Your words have power. Tupac is one of my most favorite artists, but I do believe he spoke a lot of negativity in his life. He spoke a lot of death into it that was unnecessary. So I feel like he kind of went through extra things just because of what he spoke into it. So even though when I have my favorites and people that inspire me, I look up to, I also look, well, what are the pros and cons of what they did so I can elevate, from that.
And I think wow, that's like multi-layered, right? 'Cause there's this layer of authenticity and allowing artists to go through the creative process and get it out. But then there's this layer of when you're coming from just artists making it to artists making it, and you're in front of people and you're influencing and you're in these audiences, being intentional about your responsibility for the messages you put out, and also understanding like it's a business side, so marketing matters and how you're marketed and like the human that you are and the effects that human has on the society around you can affect the music business part, right? And so I think that's a really good point to make, especially for even those who might be watching, those audiences who might be watching that want to get into music or want to get into artistry, and like these labels and these like a lot of they will be looking at who you are and the impact on your communities because it matters. And you got to think about it as crafts, but it's also business too. So you got to think about both sides. And what is your message? What intentionally do you want to put out there? Because that's a question you'll get asked a lot by the people who are actually making these moves and helping the artists. So definitely. So when you see, let's do some examples. So when you see like an artist, is this like because there's also more layers that I didn't get into. There's also like the mental health and these other things. So when you are helping artists and you are building out like their careers, have you ever come into artists who you feel aren't ready? And if it is that, what deems an artist that's not ready for business versus an artist who is ready for business?
Wow, that's a great question. That's a great question. It definitely varies on a situation. Me personally, where I'm at, what I look at is like the mental health, is the priorities and the spirituality, right? So a big thing that I do too is because you have talented people, right? And the people they see me around, they believe I'm talented. They see me around a lot of talented people. So a lot of people come around like, oh, I know a bunch of talented people I can bring around. Whoa, hold on, time out. Talent, we're not lacking in talent whatsoever. So what I like to see is the mindset right. You know what I'm saying? Is the priorities right? Are we in alignment? And then the talent goes. Because if everything else isn't right, we're gonna find some way to make something happen. Trust and believe that. You know what I mean? And if the talent's there, that's extra legendary stuff. But I think a lot of people look for talent first. And I think that's kind of what separates us too, because a lot of the businesses are not ran by talented people, right? They have their own different set of gifts. So the fact that we do have this talent too as well, and we have the business side, I believe that helps. So what I would deem as ready is someone that kind of knows their priorities, someone that is willing to invest in themselves, right? Because a lot of artists be looking for, oh, my music is so fire, like that's the investment. No, it's like there's a lot of people dropping fire music, right? How are you gonna push it? How are you gonna get to the bag, right? You want to be signed? Well, think about it. A signing is an investment, right? It's a loan. So if
Say
you're
that one
not,
more time.
yeah,
A
signing
signing
is an investment. It's a loan.
that last word, a signing is a loan. You will be paying that back. So make sure not only like, oh, I got this good music, I'm putting it out there. But where's your business? Can you pay that back?
Yes.
Continue, because I think people
What
think,
is your business? So a lot of people are looking for the fast way. They claim they're so hungry, right? You don't have leverage, right? If you are a business, your goal is to build leverage. It's not looking for someone to come save me and scoop me and I'm so nice and I deserve for people to just drop money. No, if you're so nice, you should be able to make money on your own. And now all these other people that got money is like, hey, let's get included on that. Let's make it bigger. But how nice are you, or how ready are you if you're not doing that on your own?
and
It's
I'm gonna
not
skip
about the
over
amount
that
of money,
shade that he
but it's
threw.
about, are you doing what you need to do to bring that in and show that you can bring it in?
I'm gonna skip over that shade because he said if you was nice, you would have been making money on your own. So that niceness is not what you come to these labels for. That niceness is not what you look for a label for because I'm talented. You look for the label to help you with the business part. Just like nonprofits hire administrative offices and marketing, like you are hiring these people on a back pay loan. Like they are doing business for you and your artistry on a back pay loan. So be ready.
Yes. And just like your credit score, right? You get way better rates when your credit score is up. So your leverage is your credit score. So even when I signed and I work with certain labels, I always came with a certain amount of leverage. Like I built my own studios. I put myself on my first tour. I networked. I made those partnerships. I brought people with me. So it's like you gotta build your leverage. So even when I had my first meeting, I got to say, I want to bring these people with me. I want this type of stuff. I want this and that. And it was respected. And hey, they could say no, but I'm also putting that out there because I can do this myself. So if we're going to do this, like, it has to be a reason of us working together. So get your credit score, which is your leverage.
Get your credit score. And I feel like there's this underlying message in there of like, if you want to do business in the business, come with some business. If you don't have no business being there, you have no wood to build the table to ask people what they bring into the table. You will be signing 360 deals and be giving away all your royalties, and that's all you're gonna feel that you have. But I think I'm hearing that the power in your artistry, the autonomy, because I think that one thing that artists fear in signing, right, is the autonomy, losing the autonomy, right? But I think that there's a protection, is what you're saying. The protection to the autonomy is coming in with your own leverage, coming in with your own business, coming in with your own partners, coming in with your own materials and resources. I think that also helps because if they cut you that early check as a loan, you're not cutting into all them expenses to get stuff done, right? So I think that it's a double fold to have business started before you try to. And I'm saying this because I know a lot of artists, they like, I make this is real good, my people love it, I should look for a label. You should look for yourself. You should look for your network. You should look for your value. You should look for, are you good at throwing events? Are you good at putting your music out there? Are you good at social media? Are you good? What are you good at the solutions for artists with? And using that value and coming and adding that value to your communities so that now when you go to these labels, you're like, I did this in my community. This is the impact I have on my own. Another thing is it's not just a leverage for them, it's a leverage for you. On the journey to making that impact, you're going to come out with so many more possibilities, so many more things that happen, so much more network. But build the business. You're going to start meeting people. You're going to start learning.
This is how real it is, right? Let's be real. The top people you see on the Billboard charts are never usually going to be the best artists in the world. It's usually people with the best business. Like, think about it. Taylor Swift's the #1 artist. I'm pretty sure we know somebody that can sing better than Taylor Swift. But she's killing it, right? You got people like Drake. You got people like this, talented people. You got people like Jay-Z. And to me, like, come on, there's people that rap better respectfully. But when you look at it, the way that they got their business, they're always going to be on top because they call it the music business. I want to call it the business of music business, right? It's not even 50-50. It's more business, it's music. I would say 75% business, 25% music.
You would go a whole 3 to 4, like a whole 1 to 4 ratio.
Absolutely.
Like, and one being artistry.
Yeah, like think about Soulja Boy has made more money than most people that's trying to be artists. He's not, come on, like, and respectfully, see, this is how we get to some Soulja Boy beef. I got love for Soulja Boy. I don't need him. Let's not do that, Soulja.
Yeah.
Y'all show love.
So you saying like artists like Soulja Boy and like who hasn't put out music in a long time, hasn't put out like hits, right? These big talented hits in a long time, are making more money than artists that we deem as highly talented artists because of the business part. Because they getting that PR, because they getting that marketing, because they understand the business part. Oh,
absolutely. And shout out to the R because these rum punches are strong. Because I almost started diving on names like he making more money than this, and that. I was like, let me not throw out names.
Let's keep it a bean. If you want a good drink, our house on 29th Street, the R Bar. Get the rum punch, no ice.
Yes. Sponsored by the R. But yo, it's real because like I didn't expect this. So shout out to them.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And our house, we gonna be hitting you up for these sponsorships soon. You already know we about to blow.
Let's go.
You was first.
Exactly.
But yes, no, I like that idea because I feel like, so I think that there's this heartbreaking moment for artists, right? And I think that it's important to acknowledge it. When this artist think like, I'm gonna go into the scene, I'm gonna be this authentic, and I'm just gonna do the artistry and nothing else, and I'm gonna make it, and it's not gonna matter, and I'm not gonna. But there's this whole other broader business part, right? Of like who you align with, what network you have, what funding you have, the timing of your drops, the timing of your media, how relatable your music is to the time in which you put it out. And I think that is discouraging, right, for some artists, right? So if artists are hearing this and they're like, dang, like, then why would I sign? Like, why would I even, like, can we encourage them? And number one, not only signing, because I know you're an independent artist right now, so there's an independent trail as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there is
definitely encourage independent. Yeah.
Okay. But also you're an independent artist who signed first, right? So Don has had a signing before he started his own label. So I would love to hear both sides of that coin, right? I would love to hear how there's a possibility on both sides, but I would love to hear the benefits of using both sides and the timelines in your career that you used them and what was beneficial and non-beneficial about that. Like,
So I would say that the benefits of what people usually go to labels is because they understand the business better, right? So they have more experience in the business, they have the connections, and then they can invest and take you to the next level, right? That's usually why people go to the labels. Now, if you are a business, because it comes with building your leverage, you don't have to know everything, but you should have enough understanding. And that comes with doing your research, have enough understanding that you can at least set key performance metrics in these areas. And every business has to have key performance metrics, right? So even if you're not like, I'm not like what's a good example? Like if I'm not a pro in marketing, right? I need to research marketing enough to set some goals for my marketing team so I can follow up with my marketing people. So you want to bring these specialty people around you and you build that team. How you build that team is when people see that you believe in yourself, you build consistency with yourself. So they know that if they come around you, you're not going to quit the next day. So I would say the benefit, because we talk about the benefits of the label, the benefit independency is when you have control of what you're doing, you have control of your messaging, you have control of the finances. But go out there, work for people, you'll be surprised on who will invest in you. A lot of people are just scared to go find investors. The biggest thing I did with being on the labels, like here's why I still work with labels, because I still have a great relationship with every major label. I go there for information.
okay.
And I just seek information. Even when I started my podcast, I'm bringing them on there and I'm giving out there. This is super key, right? So low key, the biggest thing I started the podcast was to inspire others so they could get information. But low key for myself, I'm gonna bring on people that can give me information, and in return, that's gonna help other people. So every person I bring on is like somebody I'm trying to get information from. You know what I mean? So the labels, to me, the only thing that I'm looking for labels for is information. They outsource everything. They don't even have A&Rs. That used to be the thing that they do. They don't have A&R. So everything that they do, they're going to different companies for it. So why are you going to the label? It's so love for my label friends.
You know what's funny though? The funny thing is, so, and this is something that's like premiere episode, so this is the first time you're going to hear it, but you're going to hear a lot more about Bean's story. Remember, I started in business as an A&R agent. I started working under like this new record label, and like they don't even exist anymore. And like, if I did not allow my career to elevate with the things that were happening around, if I did not allow myself to learn new business, I would be an artist stuck in one thing that does not exist anymore. So I like the fact that she said that, because it's like that growth into acknowledging like, okay, well, I can be by myself and I can build this thing, but even by myself, I need a team. And one thing that I have to have the skill in, if I don't have a skill in everything that I want to do, I have to have a skill in delegation and management. And giving and KPIs, because I said it, key performance indicators are things in business that we use to say if we are successful or not, right? And I think that learning some of these like small business jargons enough to set a KPI, enough to hire the correct person to meet that KPI, I think that's all you would really need in the business part as far as independence, right? But then there's also this part that Don's saying that's like we try to pit A against B, not understanding that A and B are both part of a broader alphabet, right? And you can be independent and work with labels because it's part of a broader alphabet. In order to make the entire paragraph, in order to make words, you got to work with other alphabets. You got to decide that it's not A against B. It's how can I leverage the benefits of A, leverage the benefits of B, create something that works for me, that's authentic, and continue to grow. And I'm loving this because, like, even in now, I'm like, wow, you know, like, because that can be applied to so many things. That's not only like just in music, that can be applied to like life and the way that we think about ourselves. Oh, like, I'm not this because I ain't get this done, I ain't get this done. But what if I am this? I didn't get this done that time, but I can get it done this time, and I can still believe I'm this. Put these things together, build a business on it. You know what I mean? Not beat myself down and not like it's so many. And that was a mental health application, but it could be applied in business too. Like in business, we think, oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I gotta do this by myself. You can work with other businesses. You can go to those accelerator events. You can go get some help and go get some funding and get a grant. And don't think you gotta work and get it because I'm an entrepreneur. I do it on my own. No, like networking. So I'm loving the philosophy that's coming with this, and I think that circles back to what you were saying. It matters about the person, right, and the mindset. And I never heard you say that they can't have like mental health that they're dealing with. I never heard you say they can't have struggles in their life. It means their mindset. How do you think about these things? Do you think about it as if these are the things that are happening, this is why I can't get there, or these are the things that happen that make it a little harder to get there, but I know I'm capable, I can get through, I know I have resources.
And I even want to add to that too. So with the mental health thing, it's not a problem because we all have a version, right? Because who is anyone to judge, like, this is good mental health, right? But what I would say is the awareness, right? As long as someone has awareness, if you have a lack of awareness, that makes it a lot harder. But if you have awareness, we can manage and we can get through because everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. How I work with you is different than I got to work with somebody else. How you work with me, you know, it's all different. But the awareness is important. So everybody seek to find that awareness. That was like a major key, you know, because I work with a lot of different corporations and a lot of times I've been in leadership positions where I don't get feedback. I'm usually one. So I was like talking to people that I respect, really get some feedback. And then I almost felt like they took an easy way out of not giving me feedback, but they're really trying to think, they're like, man, self-awareness. And I realized that was so powerful. That's life-changing. Like, having self-awareness is an important key. You know what I mean?
And I think that key is in tandem with the keychain of communication, right? And I think that is because it's like a double door, right? You get through the screen door, but then you got that big door behind it. And I think that like awareness is that screen door. And then the way to communicate your awarenesses to other people to make them aware in a way that they want to collaborate, want to help, want to grow with you is the other key, right? And like, because I say this because like I went through my mental health journey, and I love talking to you because it touches on so many points. It's like we having 10 conversations at the same time, and it's still organized, and I love that. I love it. But like, even down to like, I went through my mental health journey, and in that, realizing like, first I realized I was going through one, and I was just telling people like, my mental health and stuff, and I was just like combative about expressing that, right? And so, of course, I was met with combat because I'm like, okay, you want to mental health, why is that my problem? You know what I mean? I did not communicate it in a way that showed love and showed that I needed collaboration from my community. And I didn't communicate it in a way that allowed my community to feel like they could collaborate with me on my healing, right? And so coming into like awareness is a huge key. Because number one, awareness unlocks what you're communicating, right? It unlocks that first door for you to even know you're in the door. So like awareness, it helped me like, hey, look, I'm about to work with y'all, but I can't work on Wednesdays, right? Because I know on Wednesdays I tend to crash. I do too much on the weekend. I can push through Monday, I can push through Tuesday. By Wednesday, I'm out. You know what I mean? And being able to say that in a way that's like, I really want to work with you, but I don't want to give you a lesser version of myself. So this is what I need to do to be my higher self. and not making it somebody else's responsibility, but making it them aware that I'm working on this, right? And I love that. I think that is a key.
That was a major key. Yeah. That was keys on the keychain. I like
keys
that.
On the keychain.
Yeah, I got a whole keychain. We ain't just dropping keys. We giving out keychains. Yo, shout out to Money Game with the keychain.
Money Game management. I definitely think we need to get Money Gang on here. If you don't know about Money Gang,
y'all already know. First of all, shout out to Money Game Network doing their thing in Baltimore. They're definitely a partner of Love First. We're gonna make them officially a partner with Keeping It Being, because this is the first episode, and this is like nice. I'm not even talking about my part, just everything as a whole, and what Bean Part got coming up it's amazing. So make sure y'all all tap in. Y'all all need to get connected with this because it's taking off early.
It's taking off. And so as far as like building this artistry and coming from, I'm doing this thing, right? And I love what I'm doing. And I want to put it out there. And I want to make money on it. And I want to make it a career, right? Mm-hmm. Take me to that, Don. And what is he thinking and what does he do next?
All right. I have a very unique story, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm always been the type to have the mentality to invest in myself, get it done early, right? So I was like a pro and a con. So I started music late. I started after high school. And so when I got into the studio, my friends encouraged me. Well, one, I seen they was rapping. I'm like, dang, yo, this is possible. Like, I used to just hear it on the radio, but now I see like my peoples is doing it and dropping fire. It's not like my peoples are doing it, they're dropping fire. So, and shout out to Eddie Quinn, RP, you know, that's my brother. That's the main one that inspired me to get into the studio, you know what I'm saying? And so really getting to the studio with him, seeing it's possible, then everyone like loving that. Like my first rap, they didn't believe I wrote it. They was like, it's so fire. Like, what? I was like, are you for real? Like, you just done like that? That's crazy. And then when they didn't believe I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is fire. They really messing with it. So they put me in the studio, and it was a good experience. And then I started learning. When you're waiting to get into the studio with someone else, kind of that don't work with my schedule. I don't know about everybody else. So like,
you weren't waiting for nobody.
I got to build my own studio. Okay. So I started building ASAP. So I was actually learning music in front of the world, right? So I was pretty much dropping music before I was even serious.
What do you mean by that? Like, you were live streaming, or you were just dropping music and not knowing?
So I was dropping songs online. I even bought a CD duplicator machine, was putting out mixtapes and really dropping it like that. But it was probably when I started at the time I didn't know my sound, time where I wasn't taking it too serious. I actually got an opportunity with BT. And I would tell you what the opportunity, God is good, right? I didn't get what I want from it, but I got what I needed from it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just playing with music, having fun. And then I got an opportunity with BT. Now, because I wasn't on a professional level, I didn't capitalize on that situation how I wanted to, but it was what I needed to make me a professional. So after that, I was like, dang, like, I was just playing with music and I got on BT. Like, so I'm like, okay, so I could really like do music, make something out of this, and like really get shit. Like if I'm really serious, because I'm just like, I don't want to wait for anyone to record. So I was just building myself because I had a passion and I like it. I enjoyed it. It was actually my therapy before I knew it was my therapy. So once I seen I was getting into professional places off that, that's when I got with my team that I was rapping with. I was like, yo, let's build. We got a camcorder. We started recording. We started hitting the road. We made partnerships. And the beautiful thing, because when you was talking more about being organic, right? If you put 100% into something, even if it's not what you expect, you will always get a return. You will never not get a return from 100%. And I see so many people, amazing people, make excuses for not putting 100%, and they're nowhere near where they want to be. And that's because they've been like, oh, I'm not going to put 100% of this, but if I had this, I'll put 100%. Guess what? You'll never have that because you didn't put 100% what you're doing right now. The Bible tells you, whatever you put your hands to work in, give it your all.
Yes.
Don't look at anything less, you know what I mean? Whatever platform I'm on, I'm going to give 100%. I don't care if you just started yesterday or you've been around for 50 years. It's like, if you just started yesterday and I'm rocking with you, then I must respect it. Yeah. If we took the time to get involved with it, we have to respect it and give it 100%. Yeah. We do not treat it differently. And that was my, got my good on.
And I like that because that falls under like the philosophy of like things lose movement when you lose movement, right? And so if I'm not giving 100%, I can't get the max of the potentials in it, right? I can only get whatever I put in. If I'm putting less than 100, then I could be potential of 0, right? But if I'm putting 100%, I'm gonna get something out of it. Like even if it's the key to the next step.
And can I give you a special shout out real quick, right? Because I met B-Pod, right? And it's amazing, right? And we met through fame, but beyond that, right? The work that you put in, it wasn't like, and I feel like how we met each other. But I'm gonna go from my perspective of seeing you. She didn't say I do this and I do that. No. She started by making shit happen. Give me for cursing. She started by making things happen, right? Immediately, she was like, "I'm setting up this connection. I'm setting this stuff." Like, you're not the type to talk. You do. And there's a lot of people that, as much as I talk y'all when it's on camera, like if you meet me in real life, I might be looking like one of the quietest people you know in the big group. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't talk with people about action. And that's what I respect about you is like you came in, action. You don't have to say what you do. Now you start doing so much action, you had to start asking questions like, what do you do? But it's like, you let your work talk, and there's so many people that be trying to convince people. Stop convincing people. Let your actions speak.
Yeah.
There's no need to convince. I don't convince nobody. If I need to convince somebody to work with me, they're not for me.
They're not for it.
You know what I'm saying? Let your actions speak. The real ones will see, and then you can give clarity. But stop convincing people. Give clarity, don't convince.
I like that, and I'm grateful for that because it's like, thank you. I'm honored. I definitely very much honor our partnership. I honor our friendship. I love what you do. I love your motives behind it and your mindset behind it. And like even down to like watching you work with some of your artists, I'm like, you really put your whole all into like whatever you promised you'll put into. So I very much respect you, and I'm grateful for that. Cause yes, cause don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like if I say I'm about to put this in it, I'm putting it in it. I'm gonna talk to people. And you know what I mean? And I'm grateful because not only did you pick up the balls, like where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this ball in your court. You alley-oop it. You got the 3-pointer. You making sure that like the efforts that I'm putting into believing in your vision, you don't waste those efforts. You know what I mean? And I love that. And I know that's weird because it's like I'm putting efforts into your vision and you ain't wasting it. You ain't asking me to do nothing. Like what do you mean? But the fact that we can both appreciate the value and the love and like your definition of love, like wanting to add value to somebody's life, their vision and what they do based off of like just the alignment and knowing like I'm put here for these purposes. I know I can do this. And I'm grateful to meet people like you in this network. And okay. And I feel like even with artists, like I only deal with of integrity. And then when I realize people aren't, I'm like, oh no, I'm raising flags. I'm letting my community know because I realize like even down to like artists and the mental health and the mindset. Some artists, they go through a lot of things. They don't need people like corrupting them and all kinds of stuff. So I'm grateful for you because you've taken the journey on so many sides, right? And then you also not only taken the journey and made your own ways of it, because you coming from New York to Baltimore, you done signed Showtime, you done did the thing, you know what I mean? Like you make artists like out of you make new artists. You don't even have to wait and go help other artists. You can just make a new one and they just do, but you don't. You do it in a way that's like, it's autonomous. You do it in a way that's like just helping people's lives, their families. You actually care. I've seen you in people's households actually caring, and I very much care for that.
I just want to interject real quick because I will drop a lot of information. I share a lot of keys and experience I learned and help people out. But it really takes the people to do it. So I can't even do that because I work with so many. Sometimes I'd be disappointed, but when I see these breakthrough people that take it, apply it, everything, I'm like, all right. It is working because I'm like, dang, like what's going on?
I mean, as a leader, because maybe like there's some leaders in community work and like maybe there's some leaders in community work and maybe there's some leaders in like recording and labels and helping artists. How do you deal with the disappointment of investing yourself into someone else's like artistry and expression and they don't, and then
it's so beyond artistry because like so I work with like a lot of like corporations, right? And I develop management and supervisors. So I also work with the communications, but my main key, what they like is like I can develop like leadership. So I usually work with the leadership teams that develop their leadership. And it was what hurts the most is seeing the people that have all the equipment, resources, and stuff to do it, but they don't. And it starts off by being accountable with yourself. So one, hold yourself accountable. If you feel like my situation is messed up because everybody else did this and that, So accountability would be like, I put myself in that situation, so I can't do that, right? So stop passing off the blame. But I've seen so many times where I've invested so much energy, seeing they have the ability, seeing spurts of the goodness, just not consistency, and having to let them go. Like there were certain corporations where like I had to personally let the person go. And not even need to. Somebody would let it. But I was like, man, I really developed this person. They really didn't do what they needed to do, and I kept telling them. I was giving them warnings, like, this is what you do. Like to the point they might have got extra passes than what was necessary because you put your name on the line.
Yeah.
So I feel like that hurts the most. Is like when you put your name on the line for somebody, and that's why I'm more careful about that.
This is why we have the guests that we have. I want y'all to know, first episode is all partners, all production companies, all the people who we've been working with to build these visions in Baltimore, all the people that we know very much love Baltimore, care about Baltimore, and want this artistry to go. And like, so this first one, if you don't do anything, this first one, watching this first one, clicking the links, getting connected to everybody in this first one, is like, yeah, that is the premiere to your premiere, all right? Like, listen, we on episode like 2024 with Bean Pie. I don't know what episode you on, but we've been out here working, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Trenches, show you something new. First me have to see their body move. Bust it down and broken down the room. Doing things we don't know you can do.